turned off the comments. Thank you. And I'm the reason why she turned off the comments. So how dare you say correct? Your homeschooling is exactly this, where to the point it made you feel like it's appropriate to quote MLK about yourself and your civil personal freedoms that you feel like you're losing. That you feel like you're losing, right? That you feel. It's a feeling. It's not even real and tangible. How dare you? I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. So we're back for another Gab with Abigail. It's time to have a new Gab. If you're new here, thanks for joining. If not, thanks for coming back. So, right, let's talk about our favorite Fundy family, the Rodrigueses. I say our, but mine truly is the Caldwells. I love them. Oh my god, I have to talk about them too. Oh my god, we do have an update for that. Okay, so Rodriguez family, Nuri and Nathan are in town for a visit for the holidays. Super sweet, super cute. They've been there forever. And yeah, first and foremost, I want to say, like I said, about like Nuri looking like she's gaining weight. She looks like she's gaining weight. And I'm so sorry if anybody's like offended by that. I hope she doesn't have any like, I once saw one of my favorite influencers who is a fitness influencer say like, it's not even nice to tell people that they look good having gained weight. And I was like, I felt so hurt by that. I was like, that's true. That is, even if, because everybody has their own perception and distortion of their body. Body dysmorphia is a real thing. So yeah, but just for her, it looks natural and healthy. Like, yeah, you know, I don't think, I'm not saying she's pregnant. I'm not speculating on that at all, but I love that for her. Like, I love that for you. Like I said, like that was gonna be the perk of getting out of this really, really huge family that's probably not like having had the easiest financial means to feed everybody, you know, as much as they'd like. And it's been just nice. And I really do believe her and Nathan are in love, and it's been great. And they had this little cute skit that was like, oh, Nuri, you can sing, sweetheart. Love that for you. Love the weight gain for you. But moving on, staying on topic in terms of the Capitol, guess whose parents were there? Or at least her father, Miss Jill Rodriguez, her father was at the rally. He was at the rally. Like, it's like, what's crazy to me is just that, like, again, this cognitive dissonance of like, a couple of y'all would have been at the Klan rallies, and that's what you don't get. That's what you don't get. That's what you don't see. Like, there's good people in the Klan. Like, what? No. That was the Klan's freedom of speech too. They had a whole parade down Washington, whatever that street is, and a city that was predominantly black, even at that time, that had a high black population. The Klan, a lot of y'all would have been in the Klan and you can't see it, and that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. And you would have called it being conservative, wanting to preserve your family values, traditionalism, fundamental American stuff, which is fundamentally white to white people. A lot of y'all would have been in the Klan. Miss Jill Rodriguez did in fact go, her father went to this march, this parade for Trump to show support. My sweet dad, along with some friends, went to Washington, D.C. peacefully today to support President Trump and Vice President Pence. We also had other friends go. It was predicted that over 2 million people were going. Woohoo! Some of you guys would have been at a Klan rally. Absolutely. 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 Would have been at a Klan rally. Okay? Okay. All right? And it's just crazy to me, like, that you can't, these are people who think that they are the definition of America. It's crazy. And I mean, it's not that crazy when you just think about how much groundwork has been put in by the Trump administration and Donald Trump himself into making everything seem like, if I didn't say it, it's a lie. It's a lie. Everybody wants to distort everything to make me seem worse. It's not credible. It's not this, it's not that. It can't be that surprising and not crazy. It's just sad. That's really what it is. It's just sad. Because one lying white man told you that there was cheating, that there was voter fraud. I mean, and I guess that's what's so scandalous to me. None of you are rich, and I don't know how you can't see that rich people will do anything to maintain power and to make money, to benefit themselves. Money is so lucrative. People get money and turn into different people. And like, to somehow think that Donald Trump is above that and is exempt and is caring about the average American, that this isn't about power. I don't want to say it's insane because it's just so on brand for white people. I just, okay. And then she followed it up with this post, keeping on brand with this was Antifa. Again, the delusion. So this caption, which obviously you can see here, I'm going to read it. To those of you who quickly believe everything you see on TV, here is the truth of what happened today. If there's one thing that Miss Jill Rodrigues loves, it's an all capitalized word to emphasize what she is talking about. I love it because I like read it in a specific voice of hers. Jill here. I'm going to work on my Jill Rodrigues. Here's the truth of what happened. Truth. From a friend. God knows who this is, right? Okay. And Trump did nothing to invoke the violence. I mean, like, because he didn't go out there and say, like, yes, you guys should go out and storm the building, light it up, directly, pointedly. That you felt compelled enough to get behind this man and go to D.C. to protest his election. Yes, that was him invoking violence, right? I'm confused. Whatever. Is this not the party with the true patriots? What are patriots? According to American, whatever. He even told people not to be violent. Okay, sure. Trump's media accounts have been suspended, and some messages he posted about going home in love and peace removed from Twitter. Why? Well, it's kind of too late for that. Now you're backtracking on a lot of things that you already had. The violence was started by Antifa that pretended to be patriots. Again, who is Antifa? The streets want to know who that is. What group? Should I do I don't even want to do a Google because fake news. Who do I trust, right? The violence was started by Antifa that pretended to be patriots. Cool. Okay. I mentioned already who. No, these were people like you. These were people who felt strongly enough this is who did that. The MSM won't cover the video footage showing the Antifa were brought in on buses and how the police opened the gates allowing them into the building. The police definitely let them into the building. I 100% agree with that conspiracy. They definitely did. But Antifa were brought in on buses. What buses were these? So since we didn't see them, since the cameras didn't catch it, what buses were these that brought them in? And they somehow, from these buses that were bussed in, were able to get to the front of this crowd. Okay. Antifa. Okay. The Capitol officers even led Antifa who took pictures. Okay. That's a really, okay. The Capitol officer even led the way for them. So now we don't trust the police. So the police can be corrupt. So the police can be bad people. So the police can make bad choices that should be illegal, that are bad, that they should get punished for. Or we support the Capitol Police. Lawson told us that we support the Capitol Police and everything they do. What is the truth? So I guess we're getting it because Jill just said, here's the truth, all caps. So the Capitol officer even led the way for them. There were plenty of videos out showing these thugs and identifying them as Antifa. I want to know. I want to slide in her DM like, could you tell me what the proof is? I'm trying to figure out who Antifa is. So proof? Like, do they have tats? Do they have an organization that can they sign to each other? Like, for a building with the highest levels of security, something is amiss. I mean, I agree. Maybe the police are bad. Can be that. It can't be that. I mean, it can't be the police are bad because Lawson said they aren't. And Antifa. And somehow maybe Antifa got maybe the police, some of the police, Antifa infiltrated the police. Here's what happened. So Antifa infiltrated the police. And for that day, they all right, we got our guys at the Capitol Police, and we're good. We're good. So when our other Antifa guys who we bust in, why would they bust them in? Why wouldn't they just fly in too? Okay, whatever. Yeah, I guess, but why would they bust in? Why not just fly regular and hit up the Holiday Inn in Olive Garden? I guess so that there's more people who are in. So maybe, okay, they were Antifa because, so Antifa infiltrated the police. Then they had some people bust, okay, on a bus. Bust in. And from there, they broke open the windows and stuff like that. And Antifa was like, okay, great. We've done our job. They're just going to hop on the bandwagon and go in and make things crazy. And we will have done our part. And that's why the police let them through because, and then that's why real people got into the actual building because at that point the violence was kind of done, right? Now you just have a bunch of patriots. All right, okay, let's back up. So Antifa infiltrated the police and then bust in their supporters. Bust, okay? They took a bus full of Antifa people and brought them to the rally. They got up to the front of the crowd because they were going to because the police were there, knew about this, right? So they get to the front, they bust into the building, and the police also let them in because I think that, yes, cool, all right. The people who changed the American flag to a Trump flag, not treasonous or anything like that because that's Antifa anyways. Cool. So that happens, right? This is all Antifa. And then the true patriots being opportunist were like, well, let's just go in and talk to the House. But everybody's getting scared. So that's why all of that madness went on. And then a couple people who also said that they're patriots and took pictures and stuff like that. Well, they're a minority of people who they were caught up in the hoopla of Trump, of Antifa, getting people up, and then somebody got shot because she was just excited, she's like, I'm finally a veteran who spent 14 years and 4 tours fighting for my country, really fighting for my country, for Trump's country. And that's how it really happened. And Trump didn't invoke any of this violence because it was Antifa. To finish off, I figured it out. I figured it out. I'm ready for a Parler account. I figured it out. Let's continue Jill's quote. Be assured that no matter how the violence happened, we never condone this type of behavior. Farewell, President Trump and Vice President Pence. You are 2 of the best presidents in all of history. Jill, I want you to name me 20 U.S. presidents right now. Right now. Homeschooling mother. Name me 20 presidents. And yes, I could name 20 presidents right now. It would make this video ridiculously long. It's already long. I just can't. We appreciate all you did to fight for the goodness of this nation, religious freedom, unborn babies, the Constitution of the United States of America, and what our forefathers fought for. I want to know what Trump and Pence did to fight for religious freedom. Religious freedom just means fighting for white Christians. That's all that means. That's all that means. It just means for fighting for white Christianity. Because was he not the one who enacted a Muslim ban? Would this not be the place, if you're fighting for religious persecution to come, would be America? Like What about Palestine? A lot of those people are Christian or Muslim. He preserved Israel, I guess. Religious freedom. Religious freedom. He stood outside of a church with the Bible once. Like, what president did that? You're right, Joe. I'm sorry. Okay, we fought long and hard for President Trump, but now that fight is over. Yeah, and it's been over. It was over on November, like, 10th or something. Like, it's been over. It was over when your dad felt compelled to go from New York to D.C. At that time, it was over. It was over. It's been over. It's been over. It's over. It's over. You lost. You lose. You're done. It's over for you bitches. You're done. If you haven't seen that video, please go see it. But yeah, like, it's done. It's been done. It's been finished. We fought long and hard for President Trump. Now that fight is over, we will honor the office of our new president of the USA on January 20th, President Biden and Vice President Harris. Will we agree with a lot of their decisions? Absolutely not. However, we will choose to love them and pray for them. God bless America. Now, baby, you have no idea if you're not going to agree with a lot of their decisions. Again, this fear mongering, this fear.
Of Make Your Life Count Minute with Jill. I don't know if you can tell, but I have been crying and crying because we got the results, from the elections, and it definitely looks like President Biden is going to be in and Vice President Harris. And as devastating that I feel like there was fraud and there was definitely a lot of irregularities that are not constitutional. And I feel like leaders are going to get in office that are not going to fight for the unborn baby. And they're going to call evil good and good evil. But let's remember, especially if you're a Christian, not to put your sights on this country, even though it is the good old US of A. But remember that we need to keep our eyes on Jesus, keep our eyes on heaven, for our redemption draweth nigh, and take hope that he's still on the throne.
But I guess, again, that's what fear. I mean, that's really truly the difference between being a conservative and being a progressive. Like, if you're conserving, like, the only way you can convince people to keep things, wanting to keep them the same, is to make them super scared of any kind of change. And that's so fundamental to fundamentalism is that fear. I mean, if you watch... Okay, I had storage issues, but we're back. So, again, there was this whole series with, like, Aaron Bates, Tory Bates, and Mom Bates, where they talked about their testimony and what made them get saved. And all of them mentioned, like, a fear of going to hell. A fear of going to hell. And also Michelle Duggar in her testimony talked about it, again, a fear of going to hell. And so already, if that's where your Christianity is rooted, is in fear, that's not good. And why I say that is because, like, again, it's that disconnect that they can't put those together, that your fear of change, your fear of something different is really scary. I mean, of course you should be afraid of going to hell. But to the extent that Tory was getting up in the middle of the night in tears because she was that scared is disturbing. And even just how Michelle Duggar talked about it in her testimony was kind of just, like, weird. It was, like, disturbing, like, that was the reason why you wanted to get saved. Like, Jesus was very progressive in many ways in terms of the time that he lived in, what he said. Like, how do you listen to the parable of the Good Samaritan and from that take away that to be like Jesus would be to live in fear of others, to be fear of people who are different, who don't think like you, and to reject them, to not listen to their ideas, to not take their suffering seriously, right? Like, what out of Jesus Christ's story says, I'm scared and I want to get saved? Now, I'm not going to say that, obviously, that Jesus was some person who was never scared of anything, but if that's where your Christianity is rooted, it's just not going to end up being healthy, as which we see in so many ways with the Duggars, with the Bates, and that has become integral is oh, these are people who you scare them enough, they're gonna do what you want. All you gotta do is tell them right where you have it right now is good. On the other side of that is something to be scary. Anything past this is scary. If you go past the gate, it's scary. And again, I will include all of the same like links that I had to what I call the Fundy Kool-Aid, like the beginner things that you have to listen to, which is that so much of that is, yes, that's the idea of the umbrella of protection, right? That's big in IBLP. If you step out from the umbrella of protection from your father, you know, your father is like the God in your family, that all these bad things are going to happen to you. Fear, 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 and how controlling and how controlled you are by fear. And it's the same thing that the Republican Party does. And I didn't notice it until recently when I was looking at Ted Cruz's response to the AOC. And I was like, it's so weird that you're responding to her with all of these things that you feel like your constituents, people who support you, need to hear to feel afraid of you, afraid of her, in order to support you. And it's like, that's so like depressing and disheartening. And I started to realize that a lot of Republicans do that. And that's on purpose. And that people who support that party don't realize that they're purposely trying to prey on your fears, that they feel like you're an easy target for that, is sad and depressing. And this very much, their religion, their cult, the cult of Trumpism, right? It really just, how can we make people scared to the point that even the fact that Donald Trump really hasn't done much in terms of change is okay with everybody, and you'll still say he's a great president because on the other side of what is different, you don't know what that looks like, and so you don't want that. But we're going to leave it at with that. The other news, let's talk about the Caldwells. It's a girl for mom. Excited for her. Because right now they've got, 8 kids, and it's 5 boys, 3 girls. So now it's going to be 5 boys and 4 girls. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. And which is exciting. And her and new baby Caldwell and new baby girl Duggar are going to be besties and aunts and niece. So 2 little girls, you know. I was thinking the other day about my last video, what I said about Kendra, like how that's really wild that she's going to have all these 3 little kids under 3. At the same time, she's really going to have a lot more help than the normal person, in a sense. When it gets overwhelming, I mean, it's not like she's got siblings, she's got on her blood side, her married side, in-laws, her parents are going to be kind of busy with their own new baby, but, the Duggar parents, probably maybe Michelle, they have a bigger network of help than most people, so I'm sure in their mind also, again, that's part of that whole strong family, that's why you have a close-knit family, but that's still a lot, because at the end of the day, those people can't be with you all the time. They have to go to their own houses, their own families. There are going to be nights, 3 little kids, getting them ready for bed. It's going to be hard. That's what it really, to me, is the concern. But again, she's going to have more help than most. So I want to dial it back. How I said that's insane, but it is kind of crazy. I'll kind of talk a little bit more about that when we do the confessions episode for this week. So that's it that we have for our D-list Fundies today. Sorry it was so heavy. I had to get that out with everything that's going on. We'll keep it a little bit more light and fun for the next one. Thanks for having a gab with me.
Thank you. Thank you.